ninth episode of my knitting podcast. For everybody who's coming back and watching another episode, thank you so much. It's so lovely to have you here. For everybody who's new to this channel, a very warm welcome. So, a brief introduction of myself. My name is Anastasia. I'm originally from Germany, but I live in the UK, and I have discovered my passion for knitting when I was living in Iceland prior to that. And that is why you see a lot of Icelandic wool and Icelandic style of knitting in my podcast. Nevertheless, I knit a lot of different stuff as well, and recently I've done quite a lot of different projects, so yeah, it's a big mix of knitting, sometimes a bit of crochet. That's about it. In normal life, I have a completely different job. So in normal life I'm an airline pilot. I fly around Europe, and yeah, not at the moment, as you can probably guess. There's not much flying going on at the moment, so I'm mostly at home. I have a second job that I do from home, so I'm a bit busy, but yeah. Life is really weird at the moment. And yeah, my last couple of weeks since my last episode have been fairly quiet actually. Nothing big happened beside of that I had my birthday last week, so I'm a year older now, and yeah, I still feel the same. I actually feel a bit younger since I started being so good and like waking up early and working out every day, but okay. Yeah, my birthday was really nice and quiet. It felt a bit like a Sunday, even though it was like sort of in the middle of the week, but we spent the day with a walk on the beach, and then later on we watched a movie just at lunchtime, which we normally don't do, so that was really nice. And then I just sat on the couch, knitted away, and then in the evening we had a lovely Indian takeaway. So my absolute favorite food is Indian, and we eat a lot of like curries and stuff, but yeah, it's nice to just order it. And well, I don't cook anyways, it's always my partner who cooks, but it's nice to just order a nice dinner and yeah, spend a nice evening together. So that was my birthday. I had lovely presents. I had a package from my family at home, which was a super nice surprise as well. And that's about it really. The other thing that happened in the last week is our washing machine broke, and we asked our landlord, and they weren't able to repair it because, I don't know, it wasn't part of the apartment or something. So we had to take care of that, and then on one day we thought, oh, we might just check if we can fix it ourselves. And we managed to actually take the whole washing machine apart. At the end, there was literally just like, we took all the panels off, and God knows how many screws there were, but we managed to replace the pump, and our washing machine is working again. And that was such a good like achievement between my partner and I. We were so proud. We were like, oh my god, nothing can happen now. We can even fix a washing machine. So that was really funny. We did it with the help of YouTube videos, so it's amazing what you can learn online now nowadays. Yeah, it just goes to show that you just have to try and do it. We're probably not gonna call it a washing machine mechanic anymore. No, well, we don't know, but it worked. It's still working. I did quite a few washings since then, and problem is solved. The pump was faulty, which we were able to repair. Yeah, that's great. And beside of that, yeah, I spent a lot of time at home, obviously. One day there was really nice weather, so we went down to the beach. My boyfriend, he was fishing, and I just sat there, knitted away, had a cup of tea with us. So I think I inserted a bit of footage of that, or you just saw some during the intro. And in case you were wondering, over there I wear the Amaruq sweater. Yeah, in case you were wondering what I was wearing whilst I was knitting. Yeah, and I think then we can start talking about knitting, and that's why you're here, so why shall I not start? The first finished object, and that was actually not a finished object by myself, but that was a present from my boyfriend, and he knitted me a Snood. So this was a scarf, the cowl that he, no, like, yeah, a Snood, that he made for himself. I asked him to make me one, and I was even able to choose the color, and that is the one that he finished. And I think it is so nice and warm. It's like proper super big, and I really like yeah, the feel of it. It's so warm. Like sometimes in the evening I throw it over just when I knit, but you can't wear it too long in the house. Like it gets fairly hot, but it's super warm. And it's just a simple garter stitch. Like you just cast on some stitches and then just knit garter all the way around, and then at the end, well, I finished it by doing the Kitchener stitch, no, the metro stitch. Oh god, I've got some fabric somewhere here. God, there we go. Yeah, so I had to do a bit of work as well, because he didn't know how to weave in the ends, so I did that. Oh god, I'm sorry. I've got like a bit of wool in my face somewhere. There we go. So that was a lovely, well, it wasn't a surprise, but it was a very lovely present. He took about a week to knit that, so it was super quick. And like I showed you last time already, when I was showing you his one, he used the Drops Undies, which is a 65% wool and 35% alpaca, so it's nice and soft and squishy. It's fairly heavy, so I think he used, so this one is 100 grams ball, and he used 5 of these to get this scarf, Snood. Yeah. So that's the first finished object. Obviously not knit by me, but I thought I can show it to you because I know some of you were wondering. And he said, in case you're interested, he can sell you the pattern. I'm just joking, but he said, he was like, oh yeah, if anybody's asking, I can tell them how to do it. There we go. We've got a new knitting expert in our house. Yeah, and it's actually quite nice, like having somebody here that, well, he doesn't, it's not his hobby, but he quite enjoys it. In the evening we just sit together here on the couch, and when we watch something he just knits a bit, so he gets it now. And the oh yeah, and in case you were wondering what that color of the Drops Undies also is, a minty rose mix, just like a blush rose, almost a bit like a I can't really describe it. I think it's like a really good color to combine it with other ones, so you can easily wear something brown or something green with it. Yeah, that's why I chose it, so I can wear it with loads of different outfits. The next finished object is the one that I'm wearing, and that is the Loubelle sweater. I'll try and show it to you because I haven't taken any pictures yet. So let's have a look. So I hope I'm in focus. It's got like a split hem. There we go. And super nice details. So that is the Loubelle sweater. That is a sweater designed by Yarnflakes. Audrey, she's a knitwear designer from France. And I was a test knitter for her, so that is a test knit that I did, and she will be releasing this pattern on the 25th of February. So you still have to wait a bit. So I will probably remind you in my next episode about this pattern in case you want to knit it. But yeah, just so you can have a look at it, because this one is not staying with me. This is going somewhere in a little package, so I thought I'd show it to you before I send it off. This sweater I knit in, let me just get that. So this one I knit in a Plötulopi, that is unspun Icelandic wool. Now that I changed my camera, so now you can actually see it. Let's see if I can get the focus on it. Yeah, there you go. So it is super nice. Basically, because it's unspun, you can just like easily rip it. So that happens sometimes when you knit with it. But what you then do is you just like light over, like, and then just twist it a bit, and then you just continue knitting. You'd think, oh my god, that might be like super fragile when you knit it up, but actually, because the fibers are so long, once it is knitted up, it is actually very sturdy and super warm. But I didn't want to just go with that one because then it wouldn't have, well, basically I needed a bit of thicker yarn. So I combined it with the onion, silk and kid mohair, which is like a super nice golden color. Let's see if I can get focus on here. Come on, there we go. So that is the colorway 3008 Gildan, and yeah, I really like the combination. I think so. Basically, this one would have been a bit lighter, but with that one, it just got a bit of more like depth in the color. And I don't know if you can see it, but in the fabric, let's see if it focus. There we go. So you can sometimes see a bit of the mohair coming through, but overall it's like a super nice and soft fabric. It is super warm, and the whole sweater only weighs, I think, 250 grams, so it's super lightweight as well. After like yesterday night, I just washed it, and then I let it dry, like flat dry overnight. I didn't really block it. There's no need to do that. Well, at least I didn't see the need to do that, since the fit was already quite good before. So I just had it like lying flat, just pulled a few, just got it a bit right in the right dimensions, but basically it looked really good already once I finished it. And today in the morning when I came to the kitchen, it was lying there, I lifted it up, I was like, oh my god, it is so light. So that is definitely something that I really love about Plötulopi, that you get such a lightweight garment. Yeah, so I can't really remember what the colorway of this one is, but I'll pop it down below somewhere here on the screen. That one is Gildan, as I said, and this one I ordered at a, basically it's almost like a local yarn store to me. So I don't know if for English knitters you probably know about it, the yarn store Yak. So that is a yarn store in Brighton. I've been there once. It's a super beautiful store, and it's a nice area as well around there. So if you ever wanna, like, once this is all a bit more normal, you can like just go there. There's nice cafes around and super nice little shops. Hopefully they still exist. But yeah, it's a super nice day out as well. So I'm looking forward, once this is all over, to go back there and squish some yarn and have a look at it. I knitted the size 1 of this pattern, and that's just a little disclaimer, that's not my size, so it is a bit small for me. So normally the design should have had much more positive ease, but because I applied for a certain size, because I knew the person who was getting it is a bit smaller, that's why I knit a size smaller. So if you knit it to your size, then it should really be a bit bigger, or it would have more positive ease. And the other thing is because my combination of yarn, so with that my gauge was just a bit off as well, so that was again also a bit like my stitches were a bit smaller, and therefore I would have probably, even in the size 1, I would have probably gone up a size normally, but as I signed up for size 1, I just stayed with it. And actually I quite like the fit, so I would probably go up 1 size if I knit it for me, but like to the measurements I should have gone probably up 2 sizes this one would be for me. And yeah, like I said, the release day is on the 28th of February, so in case you're interested to knit it, I will remind you in my next episode about it. I should have another episode before the 28th, maybe even 2, I don't know. Yeah, that was a very, very quick knit. So I cast it on the 10th of January, and today it's the 22nd, so 12 days, and I didn't even just knit on that one. I did a lot of other little projects around that, so it really just flew off my needles. Obviously size 1, smallest one, is it's always a bit faster, but yeah, a super fun knit. This stitch pattern is super interesting, so I find sometimes too much stockinette is as well a bit boring, even though I'm a fan of stockinette. So if you'd ask me, I would always go for stockinette instead of like a lace pattern or something, but this one was like super interesting to knit, and I really love the little details as well on the sleeves. So these little bubbles, actually you have bubbles all over the sweater. Yeah, so definitely a goer, so have a look at it once it's released. And the next finished object I can't show you here because I have already given it away. That was the lightweight hipster shawl by Joji Locatelli. She released it at the beginning of this month, and this one is the fingering weight version of the hipster shawl. So the hipster shawl, that's a pattern that was already released. I don't really know when it was released, but that was already published, and that one is for worsted weight and DK weight or DK weight yarn, but the lightweight hipster is for fingering weight yarn. And the good thing about it is it's a one skein project, and that is also the reason why when she was looking for testers, I was like, oh yeah, I right away said yes, because I had the skein of yarn at home, and that was like it. The one that I used was it was an old Maiden and Merino, but it was 70% Merino, 20% nylon. So sorry, 75% Merino, 20% nylon, and 5% sparkles or stellina. And I didn't really want to use it for socks because I thought, oh, it's a bit like it's gonna get lost, like having like a stellina in socks. So I didn't really know what to knit out of it, and it was a present, so I wanted to make something beautiful out of it. And then when I saw her test knit, I was like, oh, that's perfect, like a one skein project, perfect. And I've probably already shown a few pictures, but I put in a few more. The design is like fairly simple. It's like easy to knit but super interesting as well, because there's this detail of these drop stitches, and at the end you have the option to put some tassels on, which I did. Yeah, and overall I think it's a super good project if you want to just use up one skein of yarn, or if you have something at home that is like has like a special meaning to you. And then because this shawl is not like, it's not super big, it's fairly small, you can just like throw it over your shoulders. Like I would probably, if I would still have it, I'd probably wear it like in springtime over a t-shirt or like a top, or in summertime, just like maybe in the evening you could just throw it over. I think it looks really cool. Certainly as well, a recommendation. That was the first pattern that I knit of Joji, and her patterns are really well written as well. So yeah, another recommendation from my side. And then that's it for the finished objects, because yeah, as you can see, that's not that much. But I can show you what I'm working on. I already talked about it last time, and that is the Cozy Neighborhood. So again, that is from Joji Locatelli as well. So I've been doing quite a progress on that one. That is a this is like a sweater knit from a top with a block stitch, like a texture stitch, and then with a cable in the front. For that one, again, I'm using Plötulopi. This one is the colorway Dark Amber Heather, combined with a Drops Kid Silk, and that is mohair. Kid Silk? Mohair. Something like that. There we go. It's a, yeah, Drops Kid Silk, 75% mohair, 25% silk. There we go. And that's the colorway Rost. I really love the color that is coming out of the combination. It is not variegated, but it's got, again, a bit of depth through like using these two yarns at the same time. So I don't know if it will go. There we go. To compare these, so basically the combination of these two and the one that I'm wearing. The one that I'm wearing is softer, so the onion mohair is a bit softer than the Drops mohair, but the Drops one has got 75% mohair, whereas the onion one has got 60% mohair and then 40% mulberry silk. So the thing is, this one is also much more expensive than that one. I think it's double the price. But yeah, it is different. What I have to say though, on the onion one, the onion silk kit mohair, you see the middle strand, the middle, so basically the white strand, you see it more than on this one. But from the feel of it, this one is much softer, and you can definitely feel that. But I did a swatch for that one, and after washing, that went super soft, so I still have my hopes up that this is going to change a bit. I have done a bit of progress here, yes. I also just started to decrease a bit, so I thought, because I want to make it fairly long, to go almost like I want to wear it with maybe like black leggings, or even maybe just with some tights. So just, I thought to make it almost like a dress, and therefore I thought maybe to fit it a bit around my waist. So I just made some decreases. I don't know if I will like the look of it, so I'll see how it goes. So that is a complete freestyle from my side. Normally I don't change that much about patterns that I knit, but yeah, I thought should give it a try. So I've done that, and that is also because otherwise you would just have to knit, I think, over 50 centimeters something, just straight in this block stitch. So I thought I'll make it a bit more interesting for me as well. But since I started the decreases and I have to like keep track on when to do the increases again, I have stopped knitting on it. Because I have to sit down and yeah, do a bit of maths and stuff. So I have stalled a bit on that one, but this one is just like one that I work on when I don't have anything else on my needles. And the other one that I cast on yesterday evening, because I finished the Loubelle sweater that I'm wearing, is I just started another Harald's jumper. I showed that one maybe, I think as well my last or the episode before. That is a design by Petite knit, and I'm basically doing exactly the same jumper that I showed you last time, but this time I'm knitting the size 9 to 12 months, and I hope I'll have it finished within the next couple of days. This one is just from yesterday, maybe an hour or so it goes super quick. Again, I'm using the same wool as well as last time, so I'm using the DK Bow Peep from West Yorkshire Spinners, which is 52% Falkland wool and 48% nylon. The only thing that I did different this time, the pattern asks you to just cast on some stitches, and then later on you fold them over. I used a provisional cast on and then folded over, and after so many rows I knitted together. And I have to say the neck opening is much bigger, so actually now I'm not afraid that the little boy's head won't pass through, because it's so elastic. So I think that was a good modification that I did. Yeah, other than that I'm just gonna follow the pattern. There's not much to freestyle about anyway, so yeah. I really like this one, can recommend knitting that one. It's fun and nice to knit, and if you want to knit the adult version, there's an adult version as well. It's not called Harald's jumper. I think it's might be the Sunday sweater, not too sure. Last time I said it to you, I talked about it. This time I didn't look it up again, sorry. Yeah, and I'm working on some project a bit as well, but nothing that I can show you at the moment. So maybe in a couple of episodes I can talk a bit more about that. And yeah, that's all I'm working on at the moment. I always find like once I finish something, I want to straight dive into the next project, even though like I don't really like the time between projects, because for example like it always takes me some time to plan and like also like not gather feedback, but basically when I finish a sweater, after I like wash it and block it, then I always take like measure how much yarn I used, and then I like to put my my remaining yarn, I like to put it back into my stash, but before I do that I always update my Ravelry project page as well as my stash, so I kind of know how much I've used, and then I like to put back all my tools, and I like to have it proper organized, otherwise I feel I'm all over the show. So yeah, I don't really enjoy being between projects, but it always takes me some time to then like get into the new one. So how is it for you? Do you keep track on how much yarn you use, or do you just throw it into I don't know, a cupboard or something? Let me know how you handle it, because I know I'm a bit like obsessed with being a bit organized, yes, but I also like to write down how much I have and left and stuff. Talking about that one, actually, we can just jump right into my stash acquisition, and this one is actually not a really, like, it's not a stash acquisition, but I got this super lovely journal from my partner. I told you about that I wanted to start bullet journaling, so he got me that one. But I'm not going to use that one for bullet journal, but I'm going to use that one for my knitting notes, but not like, how do you say, like chaotic knitting notes, not like the ones that I take whilst I'm knitting, but I'm going to use that one to write down my projects and have like a bit like a memory of what I've knit, and because it's got a ring binder, you can actually put in, like, I can put in some yarn. I can just like tape it in with what is it called? Washi tape. There we go. I can use some washi tape and like make it look nice, because I actually just quite enjoy having like a little, not memory box, but yeah, I quite like these little details, and I really like this journal, so I'm gonna use that one for that, besides of my Ravelry yeah, project page. I'm always like using that. I'm not gonna stop doing that, because actually I find it like super handy as well. Sometimes when I then want to knit a similar project, I can just jump back and check which needle size I used, or how much yarn I used. So for example, the sweater that I knit for my boyfriend that didn't fit him, because I wrote down so neatly how much yarn I used for the first one. Now I knew exactly how much yarn I will be needing for the next one that I'm doing. So yeah, I find that super handy, especially like normally sometimes I say, oh, I will remember what I used. I never remember which needle size I used for a certain project. I always have to write it down right away, and then it's written down, and yeah, I have this information forever. And actually it's good for you as well, so if you're ever interested, you can just jump on my projects and you will see. I don't put loads of notes down, but if I make a modification, usually I just make a little note. Yeah. Yeah, the other stash acquisition, I bought some yarn. I knew I said I didn't want to buy yarn, but actually that was like a compromise. So because I had this yellow Plötulopi already at home, I said, okay, I'm gonna use that color, and I'm just gonna add some mohair. And I ordered way too much. I think I used 2.5 balls of mohair, and I thought I needed much more, so I think I've got another 3.5 balls left, so I will use that for something else. But I was quite surprised how far you get with these ones. And I ordered a bit of the dark amber heather as well. The reason being is that this together sweater is using quite a lot of yarn, and that I think is because of the block stitch. So I ordered some more, because at the moment in the UK it's almost impossible to get Icelandic yarn. I think it's like a combination of COVID and Brexit. It is super hard to get any Icelandic yarn. So I was lucky enough that Northern Yarns, they still had the this colorway. They had the last 3 left, so I just got these ones just in case. I really like this color, so I'm gonna use it anyways. And yeah, and then for the other Icelandic wool, I couldn't find it at all in the UK. Like, I even wrote to different shops, but they're all not stocking Icelandic wool at the moment. So I was super lucky that a friend of mine went to Iceland, and I was able to order some Icelandic wool. So I will get that next week. Otherwise, it's impossible to get Icelandic yarn for some reason, for obvious reasons. And yeah, it just shows that it's really hard for English businesses at the moment, especially like small business, to set up their websites for new shipping and stuff. I have experienced it myself as well. Like I try to send stuff to Germany to my family, and some shipping providers, they have just stopped shipping to Europe. Otherwise, I think the only option you have at the moment here is Royal Mail, which is not always very reliable. So yeah, it's weird times. I just hope it's not too bad for the yarn shops, because I mean, it is a shame that you can't it's part of Brexit. There we go. The other thing I got for my... no, actually, that's a lie. I got it myself. I got a super nice bullet journal. That was a gift from myself. That's an art... I think you say Argent Olive. And that comes in a lovely box. And I got this one because the pages are 100, they're like super thick. I don't know what the unit is, 160 grams per milligrams, something like that. If you know about paper, you will know what I mean, but it's a super thick paper, so it doesn't bleed through. And I started a bullet journal, which I'm actually really enjoying. Every evening usually I sit down and write down what I want to do the next day, and for me it just helps me to like sort of get everything out of my mind. Like sometimes I have a lot of plans or like a lot of thoughts what I want to do or what I have to do, so it just helps me to just like sort of clear my mind. I can go to sleep, and the next morning, once I have breakfast, I just look what my plan for the day is. And then in the evening I can just tick off what I've done, so that is really good. And I really love that you can you can just make it how you want it, really. So obviously at the moment I don't have like lots of appointments during the day, so I use it more to like have lists and write down what I'm working on or whether I've worked out or not and stuff like that. But I also really love that you can be super creative. So just to show you what I've this is like a page that I really love. That is not I didn't come up with that myself. I just like to go on Pinterest and YouTube and get inspired. And sometimes in a quiet moment I just sit down and draw a bit. I really like drawing and all sorts of like artistic stuff. So I'm enjoying that. And also like I like being super organized, or the feeling of being organized. So that is something that I absolutely discovered for myself. So if you're into being organized, I can recommend that. Obviously you don't have to be like super artistic to do that. You can do it very simple as well, or you can go absolutely be super creative and draw and do all sorts. And there's a lot of inspiration for that on Pinterest, Instagram, sort of. It's very similar to knitting. I think once you sort of like dive into it, there's like no end to it. And I'm always like that. When I start a new hobby or when I get into something, I get I got quite a lot of like stationery now and all different kind of pens and stuff, because I just love doing it properly. Similar to my knitting. I like to do it like 100%. Yeah. And there's no more stash acquisition, luckily, because I didn't want to buy anything, right? Just have a sip of my coffee. I hope you're comfortable and you made yourself a drink before I started just chatting away. I feel like I'm in flow today. Normally it takes me like 10 times to start. Normally I have an intro and another intro, and later on when I edit I have to like sort out which intro was the right one, but today I just went for it. Sorry if it was a bit rushed. I hope you're still enjoying it. For this episode's inspiration, actually I don't have anything specific to talk about. I've been watching a lot of knitting podcasts. Yes, one actually that I want to mention just because I really like her. Lily Kate Makes. She just started a knitting podcast as well. Last time I showed you the Lithium sweater. I'll insert a picture as well because somebody asked me to insert a full or show the sweater completely. So I'll insert a picture that I took on the beach the other day. But yeah, she just started a knitting podcast herself. She's a designer, so it's very interesting as well because she talks a bit about sizing and yeah, about her thoughts while she was designing a certain pattern. So I think that's really inspiring and interesting. And it's also lovely to see that there's all kinds of different ages now knitting. I remember a couple of years ago when I was telling my friends, oh yeah, I'm knitting, someone would be saying, oh, that's a bit of a... They wouldn't like say it straight away, but I could sort of sense that it's a bit of a not common hobby for younger people, which I find quite sad because actually I think knitting is such a creative way of wearing fashion or like making fashion as well. It's a slow fashion, it's a process where you think about which yarn you use. Obviously it's always a bit like what you can afford, but there's also like there's lots of like affordable yarns that are also very good quality. For example, Icelandic yarn. Icelandic yarn is really affordable, but you get very good quality at the same time. So I think it's such a great hobby, and it's a shame that not that many young people are knitting, but actually now you see it more and more, and certainly during the last year a lot of young people do it. So I think that's a really cool trend, and it's lovely to see people of all ages knitting. And I think we can learn a lot as well of like people who have a lot of experience in knitting, because I mean I've only been knitting for, I don't know, 3-4 years really now, whereas there's so many like people who have knitted all their life, and it's nice to see the different level of expertise and the different tricks and stuff. So yeah, I've been really inspired by all sorts of different knitting podcasts, and yeah, I love just like you watch one video and then you get another one recommended, and it's nice to just jump into different ones. The other thing that I want to mention before I forget it, I just saw on Fibertail's Instagram story, Lerke, she's a Danish designer, and she's got a discount code going up until the end of January. If you remember, I test knitted one of her designs. I test knitted the Cloudberry Tea last summer, and yeah, you can get 21% discount. I think that's a really cool deal in case you're interested in one of her designs, and that's until the end of January. So you can jump over there in case you always wanted to knit one of her designs. Then the other thing what I want to mention, that I wanted to tell you about, like I had a bit of like, we didn't really watch something good lately, but then we just jumped into, or we just started watching Downton Abbey. I know I'm completely I know you've probably all watched it already, but in case you haven't, I can really recommend that one. Before we watched that one, we finished Poldark, and I really loved Poldark at the beginning, but then later I wasn't too much of a fan of it anymore. I still liked it, but not as much as in the beginning. But now we started watching Downton Abbey, and yeah, I absolutely love it. So that's what we do every evening, 2 episodes of Downton Abbey. And then I usually watch a knitting podcast or something. And then I just wanted to do a little shout out before I finish this episode. Just before I started filming, I had a lovely comment of the Mindful Knitter. So if you see that, thank you so much for your lovely comment. And also to everybody else, I absolutely love the interaction with you. I love when you just comment on my video. That is amazing. I love to see where you're from. And I love when you just jump over on Instagram. That's so lovely to see you there as well, or on Ravelry. Sorry, there's a dog outside. So in case you're not on Instagram yet following me, I'll insert the name here. It's the same as my name here on YouTube. And it's the same as well on Ravelry. So just type in Free Your Sheep, and I will come up. I've been a bit better now with posting a bit more frequently, but don't worry, I'm not gonna spam you. And that's it for this episode. Wow, that was almost one shot. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't forget anything. I feel like I just whizzed through it, but yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I would love to see you in my next episode. Take care and see you very soon. Bye bye!